Hey, what's up guys? I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Crusader Kings II in our Viking roleplay series. I suppose we could call it off the name of the dynasty, which is, well, the reason why I don't want to say that is because I'm not entirely sure on the pronunciation of this. Maybe Knytling? Yeah, that's how I'd pronounce it. And interestingly enough, they have it labeled as Knytling. I've always seen it with an A on the back. I don't know why it doesn't have it here, where it'd be like Knytlinga. But yeah, for whatever reason, Paradox decided to remove the A. So in the first episode, I didn't talk at all about really the actual history of our dynasty, as I did in that last series where I spent the first 20 minutes, there was 15 minutes of the first episode, discussing the history of the dynasty that we're playing as. And I didn't do that for two reasons. One, I just wanted to kind of hop into it for episode one, because I know some people that's their first introduction to the channel, and so I don't want it to be, I don't play the dang game at all and we just talk. So I wanted to save that for this episode. And then the other reason is because, frankly, all of these characters are not exactly historical. We consider them kind of like semi-historical, semi-mythical. Because we know that there probably was people named this, but there's really not a whole lot about them. A bunch of writings that we really can't trust. Probably a lot of things that are associated with the person that is actually probably 10 different people. Ragnar is a very good example of that. We really don't know what's true about Ragnar other than the few things that, come out of Anglo-Saxia, mostly Northumbria, but as well as Mercia and Wessex. We have some writings about Ragnar from them, as well as in the Franks as well, a little bit of writings from. So that's how we know that he did certain things, or at least somebody named Ragnar did it. But more than likely, Ragnar is probably a bunch of real people that did a bunch of things and has all been put into one character. As for all his sons, again, we have, people who are named some of the different things. Well, we got to look at our father here. That are named this, and we know from actual primary sources that there were real people named this, but how much we actually know about him is pretty limited. So if we look at Sigurd Snake-in-the-Eye, the youngest son here in the game of Ragnar. In fact, Ragnar had a ton of sons, so he wasn't historically the youngest son, but here in the game, he's the youngest son of Ragnar. This is another character we don't know a ton about, and a lot of things it's really difficult to tell what he actually did. And a lot of people don't consider him the start of this dynasty either, although technically he would be. They would still consider him part of Ragnar's dynasty, which, if you'll notice, oops, I looked at the wrong thing here, but I guess we can click on Ragnar. Ragnar has a different dynasty here, and I think the only one of his sons that gets that same dynasty is Bjorn. Everybody else has their own unique dynasty, since they all kind of did start their own family. But even so, our character's father, was not the original founder of this dynasty. Most people don't consider him to be, even though he's the earliest member that we can cite as probably being a real person. Now the son here, Canute, is I guess that's the local spelling for it, because his name in English, or not in English, but the more traditional name we'd call him is Canute. So this is Cnut the First, so not the famous one that many of you guys may have heard of. And again, we don't entirely know that he's a real person and what's associated with them, what's associated with others. So again, that's the reason why I didn't really talk about this character, his father. Now, the first one that we are pretty sure is real is his historical son, which is, I think, Gorm the Old or something like that, if I'm recalling correctly. I don't know much about him because he's not really not a lot is known about him or his rule. And it's not until after him that we start to see historical characters that we know are real, that we know are, are actual people, and we know what they did, and we have actual history. So we already talked about, or mentioned, I should say, Cnut the Great, and that's the one that most of you guys have probably heard about, the one you've read about, the one that, did a bunch of things, conquered a bunch of territory, came to control a huge chunk of England. He's the one you guys have heard about. He would be our character's, I think, great-great-grandson. Yeah, I believe it to be his great-great-grandson. So pretty far away from where we're at here in 874. And he's probably the most famous member of this dynasty. Another one would be Harald Bluetooth. And he's famous because he's the one who introduced Christianity to Denmark. And he would be, I think, our grandson. Yeah, he would be Canute the First grandson. And so he's a relatively famous character as well, famous person in Danish history, simply because he introduced Christianity. He also kind of created a much larger empire. He controlled huge parts of North Germany, controlled, I think, right around this area. He controlled all this here in Norway, parts of Sweden. He was actually the king of Norway for a short amount of time, I believe. But he ended up losing that title. But yeah, that's one of the ones you might have heard about as well, Harald Bluetooth. Those are the kind of more famous members of the family, but there actually are quite a few that if you've studied the period, you've studied this area, Scandinavia, then you probably have heard of them. This is not, I didn't pick a dynasty that wasn't well known so that we'd have stuff to discuss. But that's the essential history. Again, there's really not a ton to go into until you get to later generations of Harald Bluetooth and Cnut the Great, because simply there's just not a lot of documentation, primary sources, and almost all the primary sources we have are from other countries, specifically Anglo-Saxon sources and Frankish sources are really the only primary sources that we have. So that's why we don't know a whole lot. So it's not like when we were playing in France in the 13th century where we're playing as a dynasty that's very well documented, a lot of information on. So that's the reason why I didn't go into it, but I did want to give you guys kind of basic gist of who we're playing as and what's going on here. And this is the first Canute. This is actually, so a lot of people consider either him, Canute, which is the name of the dynasty, is named after them, which I think would probably be more likely named after Cnut the Great. But some would say that it's named after him because he's the first one. Others say his son, Gorm, would be the one that is the founder of the dynasty. No matter who you consider to be the founder, whether it's us, our father, or our son, it's right around this period that this dynasty was established. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. So I talked about in my pinned comment to the last episode that considering the fact that our character is paranoid, one thing we could do, and I think would be realistic, is perhaps trying to get rid of our two younger brothers, which we'd want to get rid of them based on age. The oldest one would be the first one we'd want to get rid of. He's also our heir, by the way, so we haven't done voting for that yet, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to go ahead and do our vote, nominate a successor, and we'll nominate our son for right now. We'll nominate, I think that makes the most sense, that you'd nominate your son. He's under our control as well, so we'll want to nominate him. That gets him 3 votes. Not much. If you look at the electors, almost everybody is voting for other candidates, unfortunately. And it's probably because he's sick. I think if he gets better from this, then we shouldn't have that issue anymore. They should start voting for our son once he gets rid of that. I guess we'll find out if he is able to survive the measles or not. I hope so. I think we have another son on the way, though. If I'm not mistaken. Where is she at? We have concubine. That's right. I want to say she is pregnant. Maybe not. I thought she was, but I'm not seeing the little thing there. So maybe we're not. But yeah, I think this would be very realistic to try and get rid of these two. We're paranoid. We've already had a plot. We had that faction that was a raid to try and put our brother on the throne. So I think a paranoid character would try and get rid of him. But we're going to start with the war first. And I forgot we were going to her chamber. And we had a good tumble. So she will now be placed in the lover's spot rather in the concubine spot, which means all the children we have with her would be considered bastards. And during your initiation, okay, that's right, we did this battle duel to get into the Wolf Warrior Society. So we are now a member of the Wolf Warriors, and that did change up I'm not entirely sure. I think we removed something from here. Our hat, maybe? Yeah, our helmet, whatever we had on. So what we want to do is go ahead and take a look at what this gives us as far as bonuses. So it does give us a little bit of extra prestige every month, which will be helpful since, obviously the tribal uses those prestige for make buildings. And then next we would get this one here, which would give us, we can take a look at the powers that we get. Shield Maidens, the decision to appoint somebody a Shield Maiden becomes available, and she has to be your sister or your daughter. Okay. So that'd be interesting. Have some Shield Maidens out there fighting. We have Survivor. You are more resilient to battle injuries, so super useful. Lifetime Award. When leading troops, your experience gives you access to new events on the field of battle. And then we have the ability to go Berserk, which would give us the Berserker trait, which did happen to get our guy killed last time. But we're going to try and get to the next rank as soon as we can. We'll get this renown built up. In order to promote ourselves, we need to have 750 renown. And you can see how much we're producing here. 6.0 gain per month, so not bad. So we're just waiting to get our prestige up so that we can declare war here. The world is a dangerous place and devious plots are everywhere. Rumors have reached you that people are conspiring to kill you. Of course, because we're paranoid and people are always trying to conspire to kill us. So we might have to take somebody out. Again, I don't want to mess with the brothers just yet. They're still young. We got plenty of time, guys. I want to do this war while we still can. So we're just going to focus on that and hurry up and get to it. Although we might end up giving an event here, a mission, I should say, to wage war. You know, I think we're going to decline this initial one. Yeah, I think we're going to decline this initial one just because I already have a war planned. When I originally had taken, had decided to go in the society now is because we wanted a war just to get rid of that modifier that's hitting our prestige kind of hard, which we're trying to build up the prestige, but we're losing so much. And it looks like our lover Ava is pregnant. What wonderful news. I have a feeling we're going to have an absolute ton of kids, man. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of kids. It's going to cause lots of problems, I'm sure. Unless there are a bunch of girls, I guess, which then we wouldn't have the issues with the succession. And War Camp has finally been completed, so that's going to give us a much larger amount of troops. We're sitting at 2,064 now, where we were at 1,800. And I would like to invite you for a small gathering of friends. And who is this? Oh, it's our friend. I guess we'll accept because he's our friend. And again, it's going to take a little while to get this prestige up. Looks like it'll be about 8-9 months to get it done, so that we can go to war here, because we need that 100 prestige right now to be able to declare war on him. With that, I am going to use that. I'm going to try and get this because, again, these guys here are going to win, I think. I mean, it's hard to say precisely. Looks like they'll probably win, though. And in that case, we wouldn't be able to get that without fighting our vassal. Although I don't know if he'll still be our vassal if he gains all this territory. He'd be one powerful vassal, that's for sure. And is this the one that's our friend? No, this is not. He's the steward. So let's get it started, man. This is going to give us more prestige as well. So we'll be able to go to war even sooner. And Arnie is clearly going overboard. Oh, I'm going to tell him I wouldn't tell him to take it easy as they have fun. It's your night, man. So we did have a son, and he is a bastard because he was born to our lover, and he has a lisp as well. And speaking of our sons, I think we need to assign focuses for all of them. Seems my amorous adventures have resulted in a child, a little Barrett. Oh, little Barrett. Is that his name? Oh yeah, I didn't even name him. Huh. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we weren't even able to name him. So we can legitimize him, acknowledge him as mine, or denounce a child. We're going to acknowledge him as ours, but we will not. We are not going to legitimize him. I don't see any reason for that. All right, so let's go ahead and give him a job. Let's see what we want to do. Well, I think maybe getting somebody focused on thrift. Sure, let's do that. And then we still need to give our son a focus as well. Haven't done that, and we'll do the struggle. I think it's fitting. That's what he did as a child. He struggled, and he feels like he turned out all right. So it was fun. That gave us a big bump in prestige. That's going to be very helpful so that we can declare war immediately. And let's go ahead and do that now. So again, I'm going to establish a border dispute over this province right here. And that is going to cost us some prestige, but that's okay. All right, so we are now at war. We can also call in all of our vassals. So really our vassals, they either don't like us enough, or they don't have any troops to send us. So we can really only get 159 here, which I suppose is useful enough to raise them up. And then we can also get 18 guys here, which I don't really feel is useful. So let's just raise these troops up. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and raise all of our dudes up. I can figure out where the damn military tab is. And we didn't raise up as many as I would have liked, unfortunately. It's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and just, well, we might not be able to merge all these. Yeah, we might have to, maybe, all right, I'm not entirely sure why we can't merge all these guys. Let's get all of our troops here. I'm thinking it's one of these that are causing issues. Okay, there we go. It was the, we can't put that 150 in there. All right, but that's fine. All right, so let's get these troops in here, get them all together, and then we're gonna go and attack and try and get a victory. And then again, we do need to cut those guys out. Although, no, you do need to cut them out. All right, so let's go ahead and they'll just hit follow us, but we want to go ahead and assign our character here to lead. And it does seem like we are lacking commanders, so we should probably go and assign some commanders here, commander spots, and I think we'll take it from him. I know that would irritate him, but this guy's much better. We need to assign these minor roles as well to try and boost some of our opinions with our vassals. I think would be wise, since some of these guys don't really like us all that much. No cupbearer. I'm not gonna do that one. We could do a law speaker though, and we'd want to do somebody who's strong but doesn't like us much, and we want to improve their opinion of us. Let's go with this guy, and then we have a couple other spots. We could do a herdsman or herdman. Yeah, we'll do that one. Sign him there. We'll just do a couple of these since we have a bunch of these positions. All right, so that looks pretty good. We go ahead and assign this guy as well to position. He likes us a little bit more now, and that's pretty much good. Okay, so we've assigned some positions just to improve the opinion a little bit of some of these troops. So Canute is leading, so now we're going to want to get the next best troop. Oh wow, the center is terrible. All right, so let's have Canute lead the left flank then. It's kind of odd the way they did this, but whatever. So we will get, in fact, we're going to get the next best guy over here, which would be him, and then Uhtred can lead in the center. We also have this 150, so we can go and assign the next best guy to there. Probably not going to be able to pronounce most of these names, guys. I'm going to have terrible troubles with them. We're going to go ahead and try and get them defeated. We could also try and siege that down, but we're not going to. And we have a new heir. So he was voted in because he is no longer sick. So our son has now become the heir. That's what I thought, that the main reason why he wasn't getting the votes was because he was sick. But you'll notice that our brother is still getting 4 votes. Interesting. Of course, we could try and impact the opinion of these guys, I think. I believe you might be able to impact it. Maybe make them like you better. There might even be a way to... I'm kind of curious, so we're going to take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I don't play Vikings very often. It's been a while since I did that review for Holy Fury was last time. So yeah, if we wanted to look at him, can we ask him to change counts, request council support? Might be something here. Take his concubines from him. Yeah, I'm not seeing an option here. I was hoping that there would be, but yeah, I'm not seeing it. All right, that's fine. Good to know, though, that there's not... It doesn't seem to be. I might be missing it, but let's go ahead and do this attack over here now. And then we want to siege down that province after we destroy that army, because that does get us a little bit of war score. And then we're going to come over here and siege down this province. Now, we could split our forces up, which might be wise, but I'm a little bit wary. Oh, there are armies here. All right, so we want to get their armies destroyed, and maybe we'll capture them. It's a great way to get some of their commanders captured, and if you capture that leader, you get that 100%. And yeah, we're getting pretty good points here just from getting some wins. And we're probably gonna have to chase this guy around a little bit. That's okay. And sieging down, we're gonna lose. We're gonna take casualties as well. So we're gonna try and chase him down. Doesn't look like he has a respectable force now, guys. Yeah, interesting. Huh. And do we want to? Yeah, that's probably they only have 18 dudes. There's no reason to call them in. All right. Well, I think we're going to still try the attack. Hopefully we win. We'll be, well, it looks like we're only going to fight those 80 dudes. So that should be a victory. We'll be fight these guys. They're weaker. This is 150-something dudes. And yeah, just getting these victories is going to get us a lot of points. We eventually have to siege that down, though. So we're going to attack here. I know that we might get a river penalty. They're not as strong, though. All right, so let's see if we can beat them. It looks like we should be able to win this now. Excellent. All right, so they've been defeated. That's going to give us some nice victory points here. And we have an event. Hopefully we don't die. During the battle, I catch sight of a pale man who looks a lot like my friend Arnie. Oh no, not Arnie. Then he is struck down. Suddenly, I'm pushing shoulders out of the way, hurrying over to where I saw him fall. I know it is not Arnie, but I cannot help myself. Oh, so it's not Arnie. We must remember to tend our wounded, so we can gain the trait Patient. There is no time to take breaks. And then we gain the trait Wroth, which I think we already have Wroth, which means that... Oh, maybe we don't. I feel like that would be the most... I feel like that's the one we would do. Our character just doesn't feel like a patient character, which is a pretty good trait to have. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there's really good bonuses here. And I would say it's probably better bonuses for the most part than getting Wroth. But again, we're not min-maxing. We have to do what makes sense for our character. And our character being, this stubborn warrior, I just don't see him doing that. I think we're going to do this. That makes the most sense. We now have Wroth. And that does make us better in combat, so there is that advantage. Alright, so get this guy defeated. Should get some nice war score. We're at 22% right now. 32% now. And I kind of just want to chase him around and take his army out. Again, it's a good way to try and seize... Can we move there? We can't move there. Alright. It's a good way to try and capture some of the enemy troops. So we do have to wait for that other army to get here. And where's he going here? Alright. He's not. Damn, I should have waited till he got locked there, and then he would have no choice. And so we'll get this army destroyed here. Apparently one of these guys is much slower than the other one. Our leader there, with the 100 dudes, is a little bit slower, doesn't move quite quick. And we have another battle event. We get a ton of these battle events. I think it's because we're in the Warriors Lodge, or just because we're Viking. You typically don't get this many events, though. And Arnie is now known as, or Asa, excuse me, Asa, how do you say that? She's now known as Red Cheeks. Why is that? Is there a reason for that? What is this little, okay, the little pink, that's right, they added that. That's your lover, when it has a little pink haze around the side there. Alright, she's known as Red Cheeks. Interesting. I wonder why she got that name. I was thinking there might be like a trait or something. I don't actually know. That's interesting though. Alright, so good to know. And let's see what happened in this event. I could have sworn I heard the enemy commander barking orders. I searched the plains, you know where to be found. Okay, so we've seen this many times in our previous series. It's a pretty typical one. And it's whether you want to duel him or not. Now, looking at our personal combat skill, it's 46. And his is -2. I almost feel like we have to duel anybody though if we have the offer to, because you could technically just let him know if it's cowardice. That's an option. But I kind of feel like he would always want to duel, being stubborn and proud and angry. I think he would be a dueler. He would try and fight everybody he could. So even if somebody's better than us, we might have to fight them, guys, which would then risk our character. But it's got to be done, man. Canute is not willing to let the chance to duel get away. So he's chasing him over the plains. He was shoved aside. Oh, and unfortunately, we weren't able to battle him. And he did well in the duel. Okay, good job. I mean, the guy sucked. So I think anybody could beat him. Could have threw a lamp out there. Or I guess there was no lamps. A candle. Let him do battle with the candle. All right, so chase this guy down, and just, as you can see, we're at 36%. Eventually, we are going to have to take the actual objective here. So we'll go in and I don't know, I just want to really get his army destroyed because I don't want to watch him bouncing around. And once I sit down here to siege, I typically don't. And you can see he's gathering men as well, so that's a problem. But typically once I sit down to siege, I just want to get it ramped up. So let's get him defeated here again. This is our fourth victory. And we're at 100% because we did capture him. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping we'd get him. That's the easiest way to do it rather than sit in sieges. And looks like we captured a bunch of people. All right, awesome. So yeah, we captured this guy here, and we can sacrifice him because remember the Wolf Warriors. So you order him to be offered with the goods in exchange for good fortune. Oh, and so it's battlefield sacrifice. Well, that's pretty cool. And so we had this battle here, or this event here for the battle. On our ongoing struggle outside of Scar Tribe has brought out the best of our military strategists. One of them is a Norse veteran with a penchant for innovation. He is suggesting that he retire from the battlefront and return to continue his work, safe from flying arrows. So it's this guy right here. He's only 26. What does he want to retire for? Yeah, I don't even know who he is. What are the options here? What does this do? Sounds like a solid investment. We'll gain military tradition points. And then we get war knowledge and military technology spread is up. That's actually pretty useful. Or we can keep him as a commander, which we have plenty of commanders. I feel like this is the best one. I think we're going to do that, guys. Yeah, and that also results in him vanishing without a trace. Okay, so let me just take a look at this guy. Who is his heir? Like, who is this? Is this his son? That's his son. So we could go ahead and kill him, and that would get rid of him, but I think I don't know we'd be at 100% anymore if we did that. So we're just going to keep him at perfect, and then we're going to make the sacrifice with this other character, who's pretty garbage anyway. He's all banged up and injured and wounded and stuff. Yeah, he's got a little bit of duel experience though, but he still sucks at dueling. So yeah, let's make a sacrifice. All right, he's been offered to the gods, and now they're happy and they have granted us victory, of course. It's got to be the gods that resulted in this great victory for us. All right, so we've won, and now we have taken his title. So is he still at war with... Anybody? It looks like he has truce. Okay, he's hostile. He's still at war with him. So I'm sure he'll be able to beat him now. So let's go and get our armies brought back over to here. It looks like they're still set as raiders, aren't they? Yeah, so they're actually raiding right here. All right, let's go ahead and turn the looting off. I think that's the reason why I couldn't combine them, in fact, because one of them was set as a looter and the other wasn't. Yeah, that's why I couldn't do it. All right, makes sense. So let's go ahead and get these guys back here. And we have idle council members. We have to take a look and see what's going on there. Let's go ahead and disband these guys right now. And we have this special character action to go into hiding, which I assume we'll always be able to do that that option, just because he's paranoid. So the Chancellor. We have the idle Chancellor. He's not doing anything because we did get the claim there. So let's have him do something else. Let's fabricate another claim. Just go for more territory, I guess. We'll go for this one right here. I'm glad we got that connected. Looks nicer. Now we're going to try and achieve the conquest of all of these provinces as well. And that reminds me, is Gotland still ruled by her and she not married yet? She's not. Alright, she does have an heir here. And, because I don't really feel like I need a wife, I think we are going to go ahead and marry her, because we can have children otherwise. I was thinking before, shouldn't do that because then we can't have kids, but I forgot about the fact that we can have the concubines. So I think, you can take her as a concubine? Okay, that's interesting. Is that an option? Is that an event or something? We can take it and she has to agree to it? Or can we just go snatch her up? I don't know how that works. I would assume you would be able to do it without something, considering the fact she is a chiefess. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to arrange a betrothal with her. Well, you know what? Let's start this out by taking a look and see if there's any other options that have unlocked. No, nobody that's higher rank than she is. She's the best option, clearly. Alright, so let's do that. We'll just arrange a betrothal. We'll be all old and stuff, but that's the times. So let's arrange a betrothal for her and our character to get married. Now, we could marry our son off to her. I suppose that's an option. But our guy is really, really young, man. So, yeah, I feel like it would be best to just... And we don't even know that our son will be the one to inherit. So I think it's just best to do it this way, guys. And then in, 10 years or so, we'll marry her. But yeah, I don't know how it's going to work with children, more than likely. But yeah, we'll do that. I'm sure she'll agree. It's a great match. And now we have a betrothal going on. All right, so... let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to do next. We did gain another province here. That's going to be more money for us and more manpower. And what is this? My seer tells me, okay, good job. All right, so we do have prestige, not enough to buy anything yet. We've got a little stack of money. I think there are some buildings that can be built with money. And where did we get all these characters? Oh, okay, these are the zealots that we got from that event. So we could bring them on, why not? Let's go raiding. I think it's time. He needs the Viking trait, man. I really want to get that. And we do have a war focus, and he's angry. He's mad. He needs to take out his wrath on somebody. So how many troops do we have left? I mean, we got 1,600. That's a fine amount. So let's go ahead and have everybody recruited. Let's bring these guys over here. We'll bring the ships out last once we've got this guy closer here, since we're always waiting on the ships and having to pay for them. And remember, they do... I don't know if it will count, and we could do this great plot. Yeah, I think we'll do the great plot. Although I don't know if that'll stop us from leading our troops. So let's wait. Let's wait then, because I don't want that to impact the fact that we're trying to go to war here. So let's go ahead and raise up our fleet levies. And I was saying something, but I don't remember what it was now. 21 will not be enough. All right, what we'll do is we'll disband these ones and bring these guys over here. Bringing more ships would allow us to have a higher load capacity, I suppose, so there'd be that. But it's fine. I doubt we'll get 3,100 here. So we'll get these guys over here, and then we're going to go on a raid. Although it doesn't... I don't know if you can... You can use those zealots for the raid. Alright, so we're going to make them a looter, and Canute is already leading, and I think we're all set up with the best commanders here. Yeah, good to go. I like the setup, though. Again, I do want to change him. We should probably do that. Yeah. I don't know why the center always has so little men here, but the left flank has all the troops, and that's the one we're going to lead. All right, so let's go ahead and get our guys attached to the ships, and let's sell to... I haven't really decided where we're selling. We had trouble here when we attacked Mercia before. So I don't think that'd be good. We were able to do whatever we want when we went to Wessex, though, so let's go pick on Wessex. Maybe we've been attacked here in France, Normandy or something like that, but I think they kind of responded to our invasion a little bit more rapid last time. We could also split the troops up, I suppose. We could split them up and then send one each side, as long as you keep your troops here in the middle. I mean, I want to say we were able to get money quicker, though. And they can't send a small, little, tiny army after us if we have a large amount of raiders as well. But of course, you do take attrition, so that's one thing to consider. But I want to say we loot faster. Just trying to take a look here and see if that's the case. This province can potentially be looted for... I think maybe it's the province. Yeah, it might be the province that determines how much you can loot. Probably. We'll keep the large army here. It's fine. Just get that money, man. So we've already gotten ourselves 28 gold. And the nice thing about having this larger army here is they're going to have a lot of trouble putting together an army to defeat us. Maybe we even attack them and defeat them. And that should give us a little extra prestige. And I don't think we're able to loot any further until we finish up. Yeah, we got to get this Dover castle taken out. All right. Victory! All right, so we gained a little bit of gold in there, and that has left us with 56, almost 57 gold. And I suppose we can just keep on raiding it. I mean, I think there's still, just take a look here. Yeah, still a little bit of money to take, not a lot. Could go ahead and take the, take the castles, or excuse me, the churches in the city, though. You get a lot more money for the city, though, and it takes a while to get to that. I would like to invite you to join me for a small gathering. I'm going to have to say, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm currently busy. I mean, we're over here on a raid, man. All right, so looks like we have taken all the loot, or maybe not. It looks like there's still a little bit left. Yeah, we should get a good amount of money here, and of course the prestige. That's really what you're doing it for, is for that prestige. Speaking of prestige, we can build something. So let's go and do that. Let's see what we want to get. So the market village is actually money. So let's go ahead and get that. Yeah, I think we should get that because that's going to result in more tax income, which allows us to pay for our troops. That's obviously always a problem. It's costing us here a little bit of money just having these raiders put together here. It looks like we're gonna get there we go. We got the church knocked out, and that is granted us 13.2 gold, and let us get some more of the loot there. Not a whole lot of loot left, but because we're sieging so darn quick, I think we're gonna stay here and just loot it all. Just take it all, man, until we fill up. It seems like Wessex is like just ripe for plundering right now. They don't have an army that can defeat us. Now, if we put a smaller army here, if we split this up, again, we could raid faster. If we split this into two, we could raid faster, but it would expose us. So there's always that to consider to being attacked. And yeah, I feel like we're not really losing a lot of troops from attrition right now either. It feels like attrition is not too bad, even from the little siege events. It hasn't been bad at all. All right, so we've gotten more money, and we got the Viking trait. Awesome. So the pillaging and looting undertaken in your name has earned you a reputation as a fearsome Viking raider. All along the coast, mothers tucking their children in for the night are warned that unless they behave, the terrible Canute, surge of the seas, will come ashore with his undead warriors and eat them. I like the sound of that. So that gives us the Viking trait, which is more monthly prestige, martial, personal combat skill, and opinions with opinion increases with anybody of our religion. So that is very nice to have. And I think, yeah, there's one more thing left to loot, and that's the city. And so we'll go ahead and loot it. Though it might already, in fact, be looted. I'm not entirely sure here. Looks like we have not looted it yet. Yeah, we've got a little bit more defenders to defeat. And yeah, they just keep on inviting us to these damn gatherings. I'm sorry, man. I'm looting. We're on a raid. What do they send a letter on a boat over here just to invite us? So to the Vikings, stay in idols and not in warrior's blood. I hence invite you to aid me against my enemies. I promise to put in a good word for you in the lodge based on your participation in the war. Okay, so this is Petty King. I don't know where all these areas are at. So he's right here, and he wants us to go to war with him, and of course that would be quite useful, but we're not going to. We're raiding, man. We're raiding. We're gonna try and fill this ship up with as much loot as possible. We're already about halfway filled. We're at 200 something now. Yeah, I'm gonna fill it up, guys. So we'll loot whatever's left, and we are done. Let's go ahead and hit the next place up with the most money anyways, which would probably be London. Yeah, I think we're going to hit London next. All right, so let's go and attack there. Wessex has a bit of money as well, but not quite as much as London. So we're going to raid that. We do have to put... Oh, our boat is here. So we are getting the loot. And we are currently bringing in 1.8. All right, so we'll just fill this up. We'll siege down the castle. And I don't think there's anything Wessex can do against us, which means that they're going to be our target from here on out for all of our future raids. I think we should probably split this now if we have the numbers. Yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and split it. Let's create a new unit and just put together enough to defend themselves. Though we don't really have a great makeup here for splitting. Let me just see here how we might want to do this. I'll bring this guy in. That's 189. Let's see what else we can do here. Just looking. I wish they had like the total numbers here, so you can see exactly how many in there. So this is our large one, so we want to keep that here. Let's do that one. It's 420, 1100. That looks pretty good. That's enough for them to raid. They won't be able to siege anything down though, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and grab that army and get commanders placed, or at least one commander placed. Yeah, we probably should place a couple of them. Though we might not have a ton of commanders. Let's do this guy here, and that looks solid. That's absolutely fine. And we are experiencing a plague of pirates on our coast, and there is a rumor that you are supporting them. Oh yeah, we've seen this before. I am not supporting them. I'm answering accusingly, and I'm getting prestige for doing so. So we have a couple provinces we could build in if we wanted to build in like some of the other areas we own. But again, the problem with that is, of course, that there's no guarantee that we'll keep it with our current laws here. Probably won't keep it, in fact. More than likely we'll lose it. But I think we're going to go ahead and upgrade at least some of these. Which ones are we set to lose? Are we set to lose any of them? We might not if we only have one son. I guess we can go ahead and try and build up one of them. When is this one going to be done? Let me just take a look. Yeah, we'll just do one at a time. And just looking at the makeup between these two, which one's the best one? Looks like this one is. Well, this one produces more money. This one produces more manpower. Let's go ahead and build in... Let's build in this one right here. Let's get something good. You know what? Let's do this one. So we have some walls, better defend it. In fact, we'll do that in... Well, no, we don't have the money for both of them. Could do prestige in the other one, but I want to save the prestige for our main place, since I think it's like 200 prestige for each one. And that's right, we were doing something here and we got distracted. Alright, so let's move these guys over to Sussex, and they'll start raiding there. And we'll just have to pay attention. We'll have to keep an eye on Wessex, make sure that they don't bring an army out that could easily defeat them, since we only have 500 something dudes here. And the Holy Warriors, my seer attracted to fight for the All-Father, have become disillusioned by my ungodly refusal. Okay, so we didn't do a Holy War, so they just bounced on us. That's fine. And we should be able to fill this up much quicker now that we're doing two sieges at the same time. Now, I don't think... Oh, they actually can siege it down. There's not enough defenders there. All right. It distresses me that you perceived my earlier letter as accusing you and questioning your honor, as that was not my intention. Please accept my sincerest apologies for this misunderstanding, and rest assured that I do not suspect you for involvement in piracy. So we got this event a ton of times in the last series, but I don't recall getting the second event here, and them actually apologizing for accusing us. So we can say I must distance myself from this vile child snake. Wow. In which case we wouldn't be marrying her. Or we can say I see now that her intentions were honorable and we lose that prestige. Okay. I guess we'll do that. I want to break it off. And I'm not holding the Great Blot because I don't know if that'll remove us from fighting over here. I couldn't actually say if we need to be in our lands for that. So the pillaging of Westminster has been fruitful. Our warriors have gathered many prisoners, amongst them the possible populace that look fit to become good thralls. Alright, so we've imprisoned some people. So they will fetch a good price, or get the thrall workers back home, which would, looks like decrease the build time and cost, but increase revolt risk. Let's just sell them. That's a lot of money. We'll do that. Alright, so yeah, we're in a great spot right now, man. And we're almost have enough money to start heading back home. Since we did get that money, let's go ahead and build the Earth Hill Fort here. It'll take longer for people to siege our provinces down in the inevitable wars that will be coming. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have to, like, every 2 years go to war with somebody to expand our lands here in Scandinavia. While in between wars, we will focus on raiding because it's such a great source of money and prestige with so little risk compared to, like, actual wars and stuff. So I like raiding, and we're Vikings. Okay, good job. And it looks like we got some more zealots. They will not be happy that I'm not going to. God, we can't move our ships over there. Well, what we could do, we actually still have some ships to raise up somewhere. This one right here. Let's go ahead and raise the local fleets, and then we'll bring them on over. Get them in the battle. Now, given they probably won't fight for long, as you saw, they do get disillusioned when we don't declare war on, you know, somebody of a different religion. And I think the best way to do this is actually put them into the port and then embark them. And embark them and then get them moving on over here. All right, awesome. They are rounding up their troops, but again, no numbers that actually provide a real threat to us. We did see the city of London. We did take that and loot it, take all their money. Look at what's left in the province. There's a little bit left, and sometimes I feel like it's just best to move on. The sieges do give you a lot of stuff, though. You see we're getting a lot of money from it. How are we looking? Are we filled up? Oh, we're filled up. It's time to go. All right, then. Well, we'll bring those ships back, or we'll bring those ships over here. Let them do a bit of raiding, and let's get the hell out of here, guys. There's no reason for us to continue this. Considering that we don't have any more room. We're filled up. Good job, guys. So let's go ahead and bring the money back home. And then we'll bring these troops over. It's like 400 something dudes, but yeah, we'll go ahead and raid with them anyways. Until they disappear. We'll make use of them for that. Though I didn't make them looters. I don't know if I can do that from here. It says the unit's not allowed to raid. Now, we did just use them for raiding, but maybe they got to be part of another army to do it. I don't actually know. Let's go and bring them back then. We can't toggle them for looting, and I needed to do that before they left anyways. I just forgot about it. So there we go. We got gold, we got prestige, and we're going to get more levy size and tax income for a short amount of time to do that raid. It worked out very, very well, guys. So we don't have anybody to declare war on. Not with a claim anyway, but could just declare war anyways. Let's see who the options are. So of course we have our fellow Danish king over here. He's got a large army though. That's a decent army, and I don't think we can actually produce a good amount of troops if we waited for a little while. But I think it's time to take out our brothers, guys. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to take these guys out now. That's what we're gonna be doing for the following episode. They've got to get dealt with, and he's the older one, right? Floki. Yeah, it'd be best to deal with him while he's still a child. So yeah, we'll probably have to. We can plot to kill him. That would be one way of dealing with him. And then there's actually a few different ways that we could do. We could just declare war on him too, like revoke his title. We can't do that. That's right, because we haven't got the laws for that. So what we could do is try and change the laws eventually, try and get it so that we can. I think this here allows you to do it in a committee here. But we don't have any supporters here, so we'd have to give away a bunch of... Yeah, we'd unfortunately have to give away some favors if we wanted to do it. But that's one option. Maybe we'll do that. I'm considering doing that to get the tribal organization changed up here. But yeah, as far as like our son, or excuse me, our brother, and what we want to do with him, could just straight up imprison him, but you won't be able to take the title and you just piss everybody off for nothing. So I think plotting to kill would be the best way to do this. So let's go ahead and plot to kill him. And that, if we get caught doing this, of course, it's going to cause problems for our character. It would cause some issues because he would be a kinslayer. But again, he's paranoid. He don't care about that. He's worried about his brother. He thinks he's a threat. So I think he would do that. As far as our current renown here, we're at 431 renown. So should be able to get this ticked up soon. We could also ask for a mission too to be able to get something done. So maybe we'll work on that. We'll do a mission. We can go ahead and get rid of these troops here. Just disband all of our levies. Dismiss the levies. And that will only leave that 150 that we have here. Alright, so we can go and hide it again. I think we just do that anytime. Because again, he's terrified, man. He's paranoid. Somebody's trying to kill his ass. There is also the blot, but apparently we can't do that because we It's got to be March, between March and November. Okay, so wait a minute. No. It's got to be before March and after November. So we just missed the opportunity to do it. But we'll have to do that. Let's take a look at the known plots. Oh, she wants to kill Arnie. Our mother wants to kill Arnie. Why? That's rough. Why does she want to kill Arnie? He's our bestest friend, Mom. I don't know why she's doing that. We're going to have to tell her to stop. End your plot, please. Don't do it. Where is it? Here we go. End the plot. Don't want you to kill Arnie. And we did fulfill the ambition to build a war chest. Awesome. So that'll now allow us to get another ambition. So let's take a look at what we want to get, and that's how we're going to be ending the episode. Is figuring out what we want. How old is our son? He's 4. It's going to be a long time. Never going to be able to do this one because we can't stay at peace for 5 years. So no point even looking at that. Could do the King of Denmark. I don't know that we'll be able to do that. We'd have to look at the title creation and see if that's something we'll be able to do before I go with that one. Could just try and get, I don't see us getting the prestige just simply because we use it to build, construct buildings, so that's not going to happen. Could use the money that we have to get a treasury, though. We'd have to have 3 artifacts, though. And that would give us a 1+ stewardship, so that'd be useful. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to do that one, guys. We'll take a look at the Denmark, King of Denmark, and see if we can, or what it looks like, how many of these more provinces we need. Because I think you gotta have like 50%, so we might be able to do it. I'd have to take a look here and see if we can create it. You have to have 2 duchy titles, which we do not have. So I think we have 2, or we have 1, and we have a second one we can make, which has been telling us here. So we could technically create that duchy title, and then maybe we'll be able to do this. However, you need piety to create a kingdom, which again we don't have. And we would need control of 1 more province. So, if we get the piety, and we get the 1 more province, then it would be worth it to create that duchy title, so that we can, make ourselves a actual king rather than just a petty king. I think that would be fun. So, if you enjoyed this episode, since we do have to end it here again, as I said, these episodes are going to be a little bit shorter than the first one was. Even though I'm having a blast, guys, I really like CK2. It's probably my second favorite Paradox game, second only to Hoi 4, and it's just they've added so much to it. It's just, oh man, it's so good. And I'm really looking forward to CK3 though. Some things I've seen have kind of got me a little concerned about it, but I don't know. I think they're doing some really good things with it too. We'll have to see more. I'm not going to judge before we see more of the game. But as of right now, they've done some impressive things, a few things I don't like, but for the most part, it's exciting. And so this is probably going to be the last CK2 series I do on the channel, because CK3 comes out next year. I don't know when, but some point next year. So this might be the last CK2 series we do, because I'm going to want to start playing. By then, we'll know so much about Crusader Kings 3 that I won't want to play this one no more. I'll probably be too excited. So I'm enjoying it a lot. Hope you are as well. If you are, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Hope to see you on the next episode. And thanks for watching, guys.